Hello, fans, and welcome to another episode of High and Tight. I'm John Nolan, the PBR Virginia DC content manager and the Northern Virginia scouting director. With me, as always, coming to you from outside of Richmond because he's not actually in Richmond, is Jason Burton, the PBR Virginia DC scouting director. Jason, how are you doing as we're recording this on Sunday morning after a wild Saturday of dealing with weather?
No, it's a great day to be alive, Nolan.
Well, I've got good news. The weather's going to be a little better tomorrow. So we are obviously recording this the morning after the first day of the Commonwealth Classic, but I want to go ahead and mention right now here at the top that we are not going to discuss the Commonwealth Classic on this week's episode. We will have a full breakdown on next week's episode of all of the action. So this week we are going to run a bit of a shorter episode. We will have a team of the week, a player of the week, and our scout blog standouts, but we are not going to update the Power 25. Some teams have been away on spring break. Many are going on break this week. We will have our next Power 25 update on Monday, April 10th. And then also, we are going to be discussing games and players that we saw through Friday, March 31st. So, again, we're not going to touch on the Commonwealth Classic other than our revealed mentions about weather or any other Saturday tournament games that actually got played yesterday as we're recording this. So, look for full breakdown on that and any tournament action that we catch coming up next week. So, moving on quickly here, try and get this thing moving a little bit here. And we're going to go straight into our team of the week here. And our team of the week for week 3 of the 2023 high school season is St. Albans. Burton, you want to break down what St. Albans had going for them this week?
Yeah, before I talk, I apologize for any coughing, throat clearing, anything like that. I'm working on short work here. Um, so St. Albans was 4-0 in the week. They're now 12-2 on the season. They had wins this week over number 4 Colgan, DeMatha, which is a number 8 ranked team in Maryland, or PBR Maryland Delaware private school rankings. They also beat Jackson Reed, formerly Wilson, and at home over Dunbar. 2025 Miles Upchurch, he's a Maryland commit. He went the distance against DeMatha on Friday, and 2023 Dayton commit Owen Basso held Colgan to 3 hits in a 3-1 complete game victory Wednesday. And for good measure, the Bulldogs outslugged Jackson Reed 9-5 on Thursday. That's a pretty solid 3 games in 3 days.
Yes, absolutely. Great job to St. Albans, our team of the week. I want to throw a couple hat tips to the other teams that were in consideration. Patriot 3-0 on the week, knocked off Freedom on Monday. St. John's 2-0 on the week to move to 9-0 overall. James Wood also 2-0 with a pair of blowout wins, including over rival Sharando Thursday. And then Lake Braddock 3-0 on the week and is now 6-0 on the season with all 6 wins in the Patriot District. So those were the other teams that were in consideration for team of the week this week. And now let's go ahead and move on to our player of the week for week 3. And our player of the week for week 3 here is Trevor McAndrews, a 2023 from Yorktown High School. He is an Emory commit. Trevor had 2 home runs in Yorktown's 10-9 win over district rival McLean on Friday. And he also had 2 home runs in their win Tuesday over Langley. Overall on the week, he went 5 for 8 with 4 home runs and a double and 8 RBIs in just 2 games. I had a chance to talk with Trevor about his week, and let's go ahead and go to that right now. And today I'm joined by our week 3 player of the week, Trevor McAndrews. Trevor is a Yorktown senior and an Emory commit. This week he had a pair of multi home run games, hitting 2 home runs on Tuesday in Yorktown's win over Langley and 2 more on Friday in their win over rival McLean. On the week, he went 5 for 8 with 4 home runs, a double for a cool 2250 slugging percentage, and 8 RBIs as Yorktown went 2-0. Trevor, how are you doing this morning?
Wonderful. Super excited for baseball kind of coming up this week.
Yeah, and this week you guys are down in Myrtle Beach for the Mingo Bay Classic, right? What are you looking forward to about that?
I'm super excited to see the depth that our team has because it's 4 straight games and that's a lot of arms. And I'm super excited to see what we can do with the depth in our bullpen and then also what we can do in our lineup. I know we're swinging it right now, so I'm excited to see us continue to do so.
Yeah, speaking of swinging it, you had 2 home runs yourself on Friday. Yorktown had 4 jacks as a team, so you had a pair of teammates who also hit home runs. So that gives you guys at least 6 home runs this week in 2 games. Do you guys usually drop this many home runs, or is there something special about the team this year that has you guys going deep more often?
Last year we did not, but 2 years ago we were quite the powerhouse team, home run wise, and it's nice to see that we're kind of going back in that direction, especially because our coach was talking to us about what kind of team we want to be, what kind of hitting team we want to be, and this week we kind of showed him what we can do. So that was nice.
Well, I'm glad that Coach Skaggs, he can be a little excitable sometimes, from what I hear, and I've seen myself. So that's good that you guys are doing that. It's a lot of fun. As they used to say in a TV commercial back in the '90s, "Chicks dig the long ball." That might
Yep.
predate you a little bit.
hmm
So, how did it feel to go yard multiple times in back-to-back games? I mean, a lot of kids don't even hit 2 home runs in a high school career, let alone 2 home runs in a game twice in the same week.
I felt great. It was pretty much couldn't ask for much more. I it was one of the goals at the beginning of my season was to just catch barrels. That's all I wanted to do, and if they go over the fence, that's great. However, I can help out my team, but they felt great, especially the ones against our rivals, McLean. Those were really good, and ended up we needed them at the end of the game. So glad I could contribute.
I like that idea of just trying to catch barrels. Aside from that, what is your approach at the plate in general, and specifically on Friday, and what was a crazy game against McLean?
Yeah, Friday was crazy. It was exciting to be a part of. My approach really at the plate was to just take everything I could get. I know they had to throw me over the plate, and I know they had to try to get me out. And if they have to do that, that means I can hit the ball. So if they're gonna try to throw it over the plate to me, then I'm gonna do what I can with it. Fortunately, I was able to do plenty with it on Friday.
There you go. That's a good approach. Keep it simple. Don't try and do too much. So, what are you looking forward to for the rest of the season and for the rest of your senior year here in general for the team and just big picture being a high school senior?
Yeah, I'm just looking to enjoy it whatever way I can. If baseball gets me down, I just got to pick my head straight back up because it's just a game and we're all just trying to have fun out here. So as long as I can, make this season as long as possible and enjoy every minute of it, I'm happy. No matter how I play,
That's a
it's just gonna
great
be fun.
approach. Oh, sorry. What was that?
No, you. I'm just out here to have fun.
I mean, it is a game, so let's hope we can all have a lot of fun. Um,
hmm
what was MLB's thing a couple years ago? Let's make baseball fun again.
hmm
All right. So the last question I have for you, and one that we're going to ask every player of the week, is when you go to a pro game, whether that's down at Nats Park or whether that's a minor league game, what is your go-to concession item of choice?
My go-to item would be a chili dog. I love the chili dogs.
Is that specific to Nats Park, or is that just in general?
Wherever I can find one. It's pretty common, so I love those though. But yeah, wherever I can find it.
Okay, I was about to say chili dogs are pretty awesome. I know the ones at Nats Park, those the Ben's Chili Bowl ones are pretty
Yeah,
special because they're on those half
yeah,
smokes.
exactly. Yep,
All
love
right,
those.
so chili dogs are a great choice for that one. Trevor, I think that's going to be about all I've got for you. I want to wish you the best of luck down in um, Myrtle Beach this week to you and to Yorktown, and then the best of luck the rest of the season. All right. Thanks for
Thank you.
joining us.
Of course. Thank you. Appreciate it.
And now we want to take a few minutes to highlight some of our Scout Blog standouts from the last week. These are players that were or will be featured in Scout Blogs that we saw in the last week. And we want to just take 30 seconds to a minute to talk about each. And I've got 4 guys, and I'm pretty sure, Burton, you've got it's 4 total, but you're really going to kind of like blend 2 of them together. So I'm going to go ahead and go first here. And I'm going to go to my Wednesday night game. I went out to Patriot and Brentsville and got a chance to see them. And the player that I want to open up here with is 2025 outfielder Grady Lenahan from Patriot High School. Grady is an East Carolina commit, played center field for the Pioneers on Wednesday. He had a heck of a week. He was in consideration for player of the week. He had a leadoff home run in this game, had another bullet base hit up the middle. Lenahan, he's 5'10. It's an athletic frame. He's got some super fast hands at the plate. has a up the middle approach and can drive the ball. Had multiple home runs on the week. Is just a barrel machine and is very very quick. So there's a lot to like in Lenahan. He's becoming a force for the Pioneers this year and really jumping up on the board for us. So again, Grady Lenahan off to a great start for Patriot. Had a really big week. There's a lot to like in him, and he's going to be a good one to follow over the next couple of years. He's a 2025 outfielder at Patriot and an East Carolina commit. All right, Bert, where do you want to go first?
So I'm going to go to DC, Northern Virginia, somewhere up there. Um, we're gonna go to Ireton 2025, Bishop Ireton 2025, Austin Dean. Austin is a Virginia Tech commit. We had first seen Austin, I want to say maybe at an Ace Elite Scout Day. It's been a minute. Um, and seen him at some tournaments and stuff. And so we got him to state games last year, and he kind of took off from there. Um, he committed to Virginia Tech not long after we had offered him an opportunity at future games, but he committed to Tech, so he never made it to Lake Point. 6'8", 210-pound frame, like it's a it's a pretty like ready body, if you will. Um, he pretty easy operation. Fastball was 86, 88 with some life. Short action slider at 74, 76 for strikes. It varied in shape, but it didn't vary in feel. He was pretty consistent with the feel for it. Um, the one thing about it is and it wasn't a bad outing. He was really solid. He came in relief. He had been under the weather for 48 hours or so. So I'm sure he was a little bit weaker and didn't have legs like he, normally would after being sick for a day or two. Um, so just wanted to highlight him. The body's there. The arm works. I think he's got a chance to be really special long term. Austin Dean.
Okay. And for my second guy, I'm going to stick with that Patriot Brentsville game. I'm going to go with another 2025 from Patriot. This time I'm going to talk about uncommitted shortstop Dominic Tilden. We need to update his profile. We have him listed as 5'11". That is probably from when he was in like seventh grade. Tilden's like 6'4". And he's got a very, very lanky frame. I really liked how he moves at shortstop. His hands are really good there. He's very smooth, clean actions, very good lateral quickness. He's a basketball player in previous years. Would have had a chance to play in the JV team for the very good Patriot basketball program this year as well. At the plate, it is a short swing. There's some bat speed to it as well. Showed a little bit of barrel feel. He's got a pull approach. Line drive hitter right now, but as he adds strength to his frame, there's a chance for him to start driving the ball. He'll probably mix in some extra base power right now, but I definitely think there is a lot more in the tank. It's a real good starter kit for a shortstop who's only a sophomore. I think he sticks at shortstop long term, despite being 6'4". Usually those guys end up moving off to a corner as they fill out. I really, really, really think that as he adds strength, he'll be able to stay there just with the athleticism that he shows when he's on the field. So again, that's Dominic Tilden, a 2025 shortstop from Patriot High School. Really like what I'm seeing in him, and he's going to be an interesting one to follow as he continues to develop. All right, Bert, where do you want to go for your number two?
I'm gonna stay at that same game in DC. I do know that. And you're gonna go to St. John's 2025, Clayton Arma. Arma is a Auburn commit, War Eagle, and he is also a Junior Future Games alum from I guess 2 years ago, 2021, whatever year that was. Yeah, 2021. He and Luke Smyers both were on that team, and Smyers is also a SEC commit, but he's a Roll Tide guy, so they might have a little animosity there. Long, thin frame, uh, really projectable, a lot of room to fill, long legs, high waist, very efficient in the zone. He was under 20 pitches in his first 2 innings pitched, mostly fastball and slider early. He was 83, 86, ended up in the 82, 84, 82, 85 range. Breaking ball was 67, 69, slider 72, 73. Breaking ball backed up a little bit on him. Probably showed a little better feel for the slider, and he threw it more often. Um, I think that Arma again has a lot of room to fill out. He already throws strikes. He already shows some pitchability. I know we've talked about it with St. John's before, but again, if you pitch for them, you've got to throw strikes. And it's a, kind of pitch to contact, get early outs type of approach. So he does a really good job for them. It keeps the defense involved, and then he'll get some punch outs along the way just because of the stuff. So I think this is a high ceiling arm in the 25 class, with room to add more velo. And Yeah, good looking arm with some pitchability, young, and a lot of ceiling left. Clayton Arma.
All right, for my third guy, I'm going to go to my Monday game. I went to Heritage Leesburg as they were playing at Briar Woods, and I'm going to again go 2025 uncommitted here. And I'm going to talk about Aaron Van Toyle. I'm sorry, Aaron, if I messed up that last name there. Aaron is a 2025. He's listed on the website as shortstop, right-handed pitcher. Right now, he's playing right field, is where I saw him on Monday for Heritage. So he's got a lot of versatility in him. Man, it's a really good athletic frame. He's listed as 5'11". I'd want to say it might be closer to 6 foot, 6'1". There's some strength in it. It's functional strength too, but he moves pretty well out in the outfield, shows some arm strength there. I didn't get to see him pitch on Monday, but I do know later on in the week, I want to say it was Friday night, he threw like 6 2/3 in their win, and had a pretty good outing there as well. But I really, really, he jumped out to me at the plate. It's a great swing. It's short. He's very quick to the ball. There is some uphill in it. Drives the ball as well. Showed a bit of a pull approach in the game, but he's got some bat speed, ability to drive the ball. I got to see him rip a single down the left field line later on in the game, and I've seen the video of it. I had to bolt to interview Eldridge last week. Later on in the game, he launched a home run to left. I must have missed it by a half inning, which it's pretty much what happens when you leave a game early. So there's a lot to like though. Definitely starting to drive the ball. The athleticism is there. He moves pretty well while he's running around. Like I said, he's versatile. Shortstop, right-handed pitcher, outfielder, can kind of move around as we need him to. So a lot to like in that package for him, and he's a very interesting prospect. The power starting to show. So it'll be interesting to see how much that jumps. I do want to get out and get another chance to get eyes on him later on this season. And again, that's from Heritage High School in Leesburg. Aaron Van Toyle, a 2025. Bert, where you want to go here next?
So I'm gonna double up and combo two guys. And I'm going to go to Mountain View High School for that combo. I think Mountain View has some really, really interesting, intriguing underclassmen. There's kind of a whole group of them, honestly. I think the headliner of that group for me is 25 outfielder Caleb Ramsey. Um, Man, he's a grown man. Like he is filled out. He is physical, big neck, square shoulders, strong lower half, high waist. Like he's the real deal physically. Like he's probably about as well put together as any player in that 2025 class. Um, Quick hands, quick bat speed. He had a single, I want to say in it was his second or third at bat. Elevated fastball, got his hands on plane. There's arm strength there in the outfield. He's a power runner. Like this dude has to play like D end and running back, for a football team or safety or something like that. Like nobody's coming over the middle if that guy's playing safety. He is a monster. I think there's still some polish to add at the plate, but it is loud tools, and there are some things there that you just honestly you just can't teach. So I think he has an opportunity to be a guy, um, that really makes a huge jump as he continues to add polish to his game. Then I'm going to jump to 2026 left-handed pitcher Matthew McCauley. We got to see McCauley this fall at the state games in Hampton, and McCauley came in relief on Friday night. Very intriguing. This is a freshman in probably what Nolan you say probably his third appearance, at most so far this year as a freshman. I know he's thrown once, so it's at least his twice, potentially his third appearance. Um, Facing a Colonial Forge team that has a lot of upperclassmen, Some good hitters, some really good left-handed bats on the front end of the lineup. So he had some left-left matches, left-left matchups. Showed some composure, got some uncomfortable swings as well. Um, it's occasional crossfire, like he can get it in on right-handers with the crossfire, and he can also run it away from those right-handers as well. Obviously, the vast majority of hitters he's going to face during high school are right-handers, so he showed some ability to get it to both sides of the plate. Obviously, as a freshman, you don't know if that's luck in terms of being able to use both sides of the plate. With him, I saw a tweet after the game. I think he quote tweeted us and said that that was his last game as a 14-year-old. So think about that. It's a shorter arm action. It's a low slot. It's a 14-year-old pitching on varsity versus 17 and 18-year-olds. He was 78 to 82. Slider was 70 73. The slider I thought was better at state games in the fall. It was more consistent. It was over the plate a little bit more often. But there's just honestly, there's so much to like here. It is a really young, we say like in terms of projection, like it's a really young face. And obviously there's a reason why, it's because he's 14. But just in terms of ceiling and future, I think this kid has a chance to be special down the road.
All right. And I'm going to go ahead and go to my last guy here. And I'm going to go out 66 to my Friday game out in Front Royal. I got a chance to see Skyline Broadway playing at the always pleasant Bing Crosby Stadium, which is just an interesting venue to watch a game, to be honest with you. And I want to talk about a 2024 uncommitted right handed pitcher from Skyline, and that is Ryan Curl. Curl, 6 foot athletic frame. He was at Warren County his freshman and sophomore year. Had a basketball injury last year, which kind of derailed his sophomore season over at Warren County. But he is back healthy and rocking and rolling for Skyline this year. Um, 6 foot, it's an athletic frame. He's got some strength present in the lower half. I really like his stuff. I like his demeanor. It is a longer low slot arm action. He's got some effort to it, but it's not like bad effort. It's just he throws with some intent. It was 84, 85, touched 86 a couple of different times throughout the game. He's got some late life. It rides a little bit up in the zone with his fastball, got some swing and miss on it. He actually really held his velocity, went 5 innings in the game, struck out eight, and was still sitting 84, 85 there in the fifth inning. So he maintained that velocity for the most part. Um, Off speed stuff, he throws a slider, but his primary off speed weapon is his changeup. And man, on Thursday night, he had some great feel on that changeup. Got a ton of swing and misses. It has some amazing late life to it. It was 75 to 77 thereabouts, and it just absolutely runs off the table. He throws it with great arm speed, with a ton of confidence. It might be the best changeup I've seen so far this year, and it would definitely be in the conversation for best changeups in Northern Virginia. So it was really, really impressive pitch, and he uses it right on right, lefties. It does not matter. That's the pitch that he goes to. His slider's there, and it's not a bad pitch either. But the changeup is what he's really, really comfortable with. And so that was something that was really impressive. He's going to have a pretty big season, I would think, for Skyline this year. And he's going to be a good late get for someone. Not quite sure necessarily what level that's going to be for him. I know some of the schools that were out checking him out on Thursday night, I think would be good fits for him. So it'll be interesting to see where he ends up landing. He's going to be a pretty good pitcher this year and next year at Skyline. And he's got a chance to have a really good college career at the next level. That changeup, like I said, is absolutely a weapon. Again, that's Ryan Curl, a right handed pitcher from Skyline High School. And I think that's just about going to run it down to the end here for us on this week's episode. I just want to update the game counter here as it stands now, Sunday morning, April 2nd, as we're recording this. Our staff has been out to 55 high school games so far in 3.5 weeks. And we've seen a grand total of 80 teams between Virginia and DC. That's going to do it for us this week. Look for next week, our full coverage of the Commonwealth Classic, as well as our usual stuff, team of the week, player of the week. And we'll have an updated Power 25. So thanks for joining us, and we'll see you out there.